Epic is this big, bold idea that God has never been wasteful in creation. That everyone, absolutely everyone, no matter their station in life, counts. And everyone has purpose in his overall plan. Epic. Empowering people in Christ. Today is a gift that God is giving you. Step into it.
Embrace it with everything you've got.
Millions didn't make it to today. You did.
That means God is not finished with you yet.
That means purpose is awaiting your action.
Step into it right now.
Pray about it.
Get direction.
Believe the best.
Step into it.
Your uniqueness is perfect for any situation.
Any test, any trial, any challenge. Embrace that uniqueness. Step into it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Informal Epic Night. Informal, we just chilling tonight. I get a chance to talk to Elder Tyrone Hinton. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing grand, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. I got my mic in my hand. I'm good. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
So,
I see you. I see you rocking.
you see me rocking, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about getting a chance to talk about integrity, the men's ministry at Epic Fellowship that we've been trying to talk about and discuss over the last year, that we feel ready to go right now in February. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Man, I'm excited when I see brothers, and I talk to brothers as often as I do in various things that I do via the phone. They're hungry for it.
Mm-hmm.
And things that are going around and about.
Right.
It's ironic we said this. My neighbor and I were talking today about his need, because he just got in a medical diagnosis that wasn't too favorable for him. He said, "I need my brothers," and I thought about us.
Yeah.
And it's needed. I'm finding out, and he can't get out to go that often, but it's needed. And I see it's needed in our conversations. It's needed from the camaraderie between brothers. It's needed just for building. I think it's a missing piece of the part when it comes to people and brothers in the church and out of the church, actually.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, things have changed since we kind of got saved in the, well, I got saved in the 80s. I think you said you got saved in the 60s. I think
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You were like 6 months old when you got saved. So
Not quite that now. Not quite that.
So things about, men's ministry has kind of changed a lot. It wasn't an emphasis with us coming up. And I think that was maybe because of men just saw themselves as, it's what I say. It's how it's going to be at my house. And you better not be putting my business out there in the street.
Yeah.
So I think men were that way, but now it's different. 2024, we're talking 40 years later, and I think a lot of men are coming to grips with the fact that we aren't perfect and we do need input into our lives. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about the men's ministry because it's designed to do one thing, and that's what we do. We empower people in Christ. And so
Yeah.
it'll be the same thing with men, just empowering them outside of the Sunday morning experience.
Yeah. I agree. And I think when we're talking earlier about when we came to Christ, I think it was a lot different too, because it wasn't a lot of men that were in church
True.
to even receive that. And then
Right.
we definitely didn't outside the church talk about taboo situations or taboo conversations, and this was amongst our boys, our fellas that we felt comfortable with. And I think what produces in this time is that we provide comfortable, private, confidential spaces that everybody is not so much the hierarchy is set like in the church, but that everybody comes to a level that they can just be themselves and know that everybody's word and what everybody says is significant. And I think it produces an atmosphere of being comfortable and safe. Because if nothing else, I learned in a lot of situations is you're not gonna get a lot of brothers to talk about it unless they feel safe and they feel like they can trust whoever they holler at. And church just didn't provide that in our day. And to his indictment, sometimes even today, it doesn't provide that safe space to be able to pour our hearts out and to be receptive and not be judged, or shall I
Yeah.
say better, more misjudged by somebody else.
Wow. Incredible. So since we free flowing tonight, I'm gonna make this point number one. That's this the teacher in me. Men must talk.
Definitely.
Can we make that? Because one of the things I think men have a problem with now is because so many people have a bullseye on patriarchy, masculinity, like toxic masculinity, things like that. So many people have a bullseye and a scope on it that they're, any guy seems like when he displays any type of masculinity, he's open prey. But I think that men must talk, and they got to talk to God. They got to talk to the loved ones in their life,
Yeah.
and they got to keep it a buck. They got to keep it 100.
But again, it still boils down to whether he feels safe in doing that. I think if a guy is placed or man is placed in the right environment with the right people that he has built a relationship with or feels or senses he can be safe, he'll talk as long as he's not demasculated. And I think a lot of times in their past, they don't talk because they feel demasculated or they don't feel like their voice matters or the system is not set up so that his voice can matter. And that's in the world system or in the church system, unless it's in some kind of hierarchy type of thing. But just being able to express the feelings, and then too, even in communication, some brothers just don't know how to communicate. That's real. For whatever the barriers may be, whatever reason they didn't learn the language, they're not able to express the language, or they didn't grow up in environments that taught them how the language or know the language, hearing it, or feel comfortable with expressing the behaviors because they don't want to be misjudged again. So I think we got some work to do on all of us to sharpen it. But I think the best place to start is with other brothers because we can find various combinations or various complements and various common things in our language dialogue thread that brings a sense of confidence because we just know the words are familiar just by the hearing of the words. And I think we got here at this epic adventure we're going on. I think we should produce an environment in which the language they're familiar with can be heard, and that'll tear down some walls from the start. So communication is very important.
So, in listening to you and just having this, this raw conversation, we ain't got no notes, no books, no that. Just having this conversation, and we talking about men must talk. So, just basically listening to what you just said. Do you believe that confidence for men comes from being able to get into a place where a safe place, like you said, where they can express themselves?
Oh, definitely. Men have a lot to say. They may not always know how to say it, and not know always what to say, but it's not because they don't have anything to say. Sometimes their silence is their communication. May not serve them the best, but yeah, I think it's absolutely imperative to find out the individual language, verbal and nonverbal languages that our brothers have, to be able to observe that and tap into that point and let them know that whatever they say, they can bring it to speech and it's all right and it's safe. And I think that's what we're going to provide in this space, is that for him to have an opportunity to be able to do just that.
Gotcha. So men have to talk, and men need the confidence. And I have this analogy that's running through my head right now. How so many people are cool with ladies being lionesses, but they have a problem with men being lions. And what you're saying right now is that men have to be safe, have to be in a safe spot to feel like they can communicate. But I'm saying, like, wouldn't that be kind of against who they are naturally designed to be leaders and to share leadership with their queen, and to be, confident, and to be adamant about certain things, and to have absolutes about certain things, and to be a protector, a provider? Because I don't understand it. The same guys that I see on the football field and in the gym, and the same guys that I see on the basketball court, it's like in life outside of what they're doing, they like, their voices are very small.
Because, see, I guess the thing, I think the missing puzzle we may have to step back for is to find out what is masculinity to the individual. Masculinity can be differently defined in church. Masculinity can be differently defined and on a job. Masculinity can be differently defined in a marriage. And I think that because in those areas and more, that I don't think it's clear that masculinity doesn't necessarily have to do with the gender of a man, but all of the whole man and how he presents or how he comes across. And so I think it's because of how a man may seemingly come across to himself in his own eyes that may make him apprehensive, because the normal description of masculinity is defined by society, not necessarily by the heart, not necessarily by their behavior. So I think some people define different things differently. I think we have a definition, but it don't fit everybody. It's not a monologue where everybody fits in the same category, or acts the same way, or presents himself in the same way. Too many examples for that. We can take brothers that like to do X, Y, and Z for activities, but then we can have other brothers that don't like to play football or basketball, but like just to chill out and do bowling or golf.
Right.
So, but we define masculinity by what we do sometimes more often than who we are.
Yeah. So you're saying a person can be born a male, but masculinity is going to express itself in different ways for every male.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I'm a good student.
Yeah, it definitely comes, and I think that's why so many of us hold back who we really are, because we don't want to come off presenting a certain way in different areas, and we find ourselves sometimes confused because we present ourselves in different spaces in different ways, and that confuses ourselves because sometimes we get it mixed up and screwed up, and we don't know how to act sometimes, and then we have crazy episodes. We just do stuff crazy.
We be cutting up.
Yeah, I just leave it like that. We just act up. We act up. It just shows up, and it's just because I got to be this to my wife, and I got to be this to be the prep pastor, and I got to be this on the job, and I got to be this person when I'm doing this, and wearing all these hats, and we don't know how to say because we don't know how to define ourselves. We don't know who we are, and usually the secret sometimes is getting with other men as we grow, because it's been proven that boys that grow up in household with males sometimes have a certain defined way of how they present themselves. Not always. Of course, there's always exceptions to every rule. But it just depends on all the devices, all the factors that come into variables that come into the environmental factors that affects one's life, what makes him who he is.
Well, I think this is powerful, man. And we just want to let everybody know that we're going to start in February. It's going to be February it's the Wednesday, every Wednesday night in February. It'll start on February 7th. I'm looking at my calendar here. Definitely not the 14th because, the 13th is Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
All right. So 7, 14. Which one is Valentine's Day? The 14th?
14.
So we can't do that on Valentine's Day, especially if you got a lady. So we're gonna start on February the 7th and come back on the 21st, and then just go every Wednesday from then and play it by ear based upon the things that we have to do with our families and everything. But just to get guys together, we're going to do it right here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. We're going to meet with men in the city, and we're going to have integrity, men's fellowship, men's ministry, and we're going to talk to men in the city. And it doesn't matter, what church you go to. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what type of denomination you're in. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. We're just coming together as men to have some conversations that I feel like I can facilitate. And we're going to continue to do online things. That's why we came here tonight, to do this so that people will begin to get an idea of how we're going to talk to men each week, even online. And we're going to build a nice Facebook page where men can come, and it's going to be private, and they can be in it, and we can have those conversations. We can have those discussions, and that men can kind of get this safe place you were talking about to begin to express themselves. Because I used to think as a pastor, if a dude walks up in the church and he got a fresh suit on, or he look well put together, then he's well put together. And I learned that that's not the case. Sometimes they have different things that are going on. So what we need to do, and what I'm trying to do, is expand my idea of what pastoring is and what caring for people is. And it doesn't have to be necessarily people that show up at Epic, but all of the people that have an ear to hear and show up to hear, I'm a pastor them. I'm going to do what I got to do to be in their life, just like I know you will. And we'll give them 100% because we feel like that is what Jesus would do. And so we want to be that way and to help people. So starting February 7th, 2024, Wednesday nights, we're going to meet at the IHOP in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And then we're going to just sit down from 7 to 8. Every man we could Dutch it out if you want to eat. We could do whatever you want to do, but we're going to make sure that we have conversations that enrich you. And then we can leave that table about 8:15. Everybody go home better.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff. So thanks for checking us out, and you'll hear more about this. All right. We love you. Peace.
Love you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Frank Henderson, lead pastor at Epic Fellowship Church.
And I am Lady Yolanda J. Henderson, and we've got some fantastic news to share with you.
We're thrilled to invite you to join us as we experience the love and grace of Christ at our new location,
the Booker T. Washington Community Center at 747 Pennsylvania Avenue, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27801. You might be wondering what's Epic all about. Well, let me tell you, Epic is more than just a name. It's an acronym that stands for Empowering People in Christ. We're all about empowering you to live a full life of purpose, faith, and love through Christ.
Our Sunday worship services are not to be missed, and they happen every Sunday at 11 a.m. It's a time for us to come together as a community, worship, learn, and grow together. No matter where you are on your faith journey, we welcome you with open arms.
To learn more about Epic Fellowship Church and stay updated on our events, you can visit our website at www.epicfc.org. You'll find more information about our mission, our values, and how we're dedicated to making a positive impact in Rocky Mount and beyond.
So join us at the Booker T. Washington Community Center, 747 Pennsylvania Avenue, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27801, every Sunday at 11 a.m. We can't wait to meet you and experience the epic journey of faith together.
Remember, this is an invitation to experience Christ like never before. Don't miss out. We'll see you there.
Come and be a part of something extraordinary. Your church experience should be epic.